And so, we return to the past, to a different possibility.
Towards a new, bright future.
Well, maybe it's bright. We don't really know. Yet still we return to Ota Man!
Yeah!
Henshin!
Hold on, Tessa! I will save you!
Last time, on Kamen Rider Ota Man, the evil assassin sent by Black Cross, Beartron X, has grievously injured Iris. But then, Kamen Rider Ota Man arrives on scene!
The heavens call. The earth cries out, all calling on me to strike back against evil!
You won't stand in my way this time, Kamen Rider Ota Man!
Can our hero defeat Beartron X and look cool in front of his girlfriend?
Damn! He's too strong!
Or was he too late? Find out today!
Tessa! May the glory of victory be yours!
It's Ota Morphin time!
I will protect Tessa!
Speaking of things you've seen before, and were really cool, and if you didn't like them, you're a poo-head, we're the Bittersweet Gamers.
A true insult. Worthy of the greatest minds, the most brilliant wits. Alright, well that's enough of the self-fluffery.
Speaking of self-fluffery, we are the Bittersweet Gamers. Speaking of a confused pause, we're the Bittersweet Gamers.
Speaking of annoying repetitiveness, we're the Bittersweet Gamers. I'm the Opinionator.
And I'm We Squared. Speaking of We Squared...
Okay, that's enough! That's enough! Alright, what we decided to do to move to the other branches, to work our way towards what is inevitably the true ending, we went all the way back here. We're only going to move one major decision point back,
because it'll still be fresh in your minds, and then we'll follow that to its natural conclusion.
Not only fresh in your minds, but also ours. Last time we guided Oda to the small red shelf and knocked down the remote for the crane.
This time we'll guide him to the big green shelf and hopefully get the special doohickey we missed.
Last time the glory of victory was acetone A set?
But this time it's going to be the A marking on the green shelf.
Oh!
You see, Damon? A, B, C. Therefore, this plate has to be A.
Wait a minute. Move
Yes.
the camera over.
Uh-huh.
Was it the doohickey? The doohickey's gone?
No, the doohickey's still there. You can barely see the particle effects from it. You just have to be close
Agent
enough.
Date, you've got 5 minutes.
Maybe we need to go try and get that.
Okay. See?
A plate attached to the shelf.
So instead of the A, we're going to reveal the B. Thus is born B set.
B set, is it? Wait a minute. Billy set? Breathe starts with the B.
Oh, that makes sense to me.
I don't know, let's try it. I like your gasps better. That was it?
I'll be darned.
I would be happier about D.
Date, please.
I would also be happier about D.
Huh! B for Billy and D for Damon. I hadn't even considered that.
But you know what? You know what the great tragedy is, Billy?
What's the great tragedy?
There's an A for A set for Ota. There's a B for B set for Billy. But there is no D. There is no D. Why is there no D?
I'm gonna be classy about this and not respond the way I want to.
I'm sure.
Date is rubbing off on you.
Don't phrase it like that.
Maybe we can get it after he's knocked the shelf over, or whatever it is that's gonna happen?
That makes sense.
Well, there was a B for Billy before, but there's no A for anything.
A is to the right of B, so wipe off is to the right of breathe on. So that's the right one, right? Right?
There's no D. Are they trying to say I don't exist?
Dare, Damon.
It's not fair. Why is it I'm always the one that's excluded?
Don't be sad, Damon. You need to believe in yourself more.
I will rip your head off.
Looks like I've just been threatened with beheading. Ah! I better be quiet before he beats me up.
Speaking of beheading, we're the Bittersweet Gamers.
I will now select B. Reeve.
I wonder if it's gonna be the same.
But then, something strange happened.
An A appeared?
What's happening? Oh, that's bright.
And of course,
What is this?
probably a little bit different than what it was in reality, though.
You know, I noticed something. We got all of the best timies by going to A-Set and spending the minimum amount of time. So we're relying on A-Set to help Ota. Isn't that interesting?
Having said that, though, we haven't used any of those timies yet.
Well, no, of course not. We're hoarding them.
Doesn't that mean A-Set is hoarding Oda's affections?
Let's stop looking into that.
We're out of options!
Look! The glowing A!
Tessa! If this was another, I would have died already.
Hey! I remember that box. Cause that box was on the other end of the crime scene when we investigated it, right?
You're right! And when we interacted with the forklift, it moved to that spot.
Oh!
Next time, he will get me. That's just destiny.
それでこそ運命なのだ! I'll never do that again, don't worry.
I don't believe you.
Shown the letter A on the shelf. Now give us the doodad so we can look at the art that we probably won't show unless it's hilarious or looks like makeup.
No! I will fight destiny and win!
So he says.
I'm the one who has to help him.
We have to make Hero of Justice Ota fight back and look cool doing it.
But without any D's.
Counterattack ignited! Move the wooden box!
Well, we know exactly what to do. We may as well go do it.
Finally, forklift! You can sortie!
Forklift.
Launch the forklift!
Hashin!
What? Sortie?
We've already been through
This
this.
is Ota's world, right? Your role in this dream is to assist Ota in his fight against the polar bear.
Lousy Ota. Thanks to him, my image as a cool intellectual has been destroyed.
You know what stinks?
Poop.
Okay.
All systems green. Synchronization rate, 6%.
What I was gonna say was, you know how you can go and buy like random products or like those Coke bottles that have a name on them?
Uh-huh.
Bet your name shows up on those.
Well, so does yours. I've actually seen them.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I have.
I've specially ordered one just to find out that it could be done.
No, you haven't.
Everybody always forgets about me. I'm nobody. I'm nowhere. Everyone else is like, how about a Coke for Jessica? How about a Coke for Billy? How about a Coke for Anastasia? How about a Coke for Aloysius? Okay, I haven't seen those last two, but
Those might be a little big to fit on a Coke bottle.
just say it.
Now, cargo handling car. Forklift.
I
Sortie.
can't even get excited about this. All I can think about is how I am not meant to live in this world.
Hey, forklift! Fork over that weapon now!
I approve. So is Beartron X going to be injured in a different way?
Presumably.
I can't stand. I'm weak.
Fundamentally, what it is that the reason for different routes is that different things actually happen and we get different types of information.
Yeah.
other than like the gasp, so Sejima is Date's father or something, which who knows how true that is or isn't.
We can't really digest it.
Or even if we care.
Right?
But something like that will probably be way more relevant on other routes. See, this time we won't be able to find that So was the person in the polar bear suit because it won't be as easy because he won't have his injured leg. We're probably going to go on with something that has to do with Mayumi, perhaps. Or like worry about like the knife that Oda had.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it is the floral knife, but what was that here for?
We're just not sure.
Did he really help Iris like that?
Well, I don't think he magically summoned the forklift to him.
We have no choice but to have Ota do it. We need him to stand up.
Oh, almost as if reality itself is changing to make Ota more of a hero.
I don't want to live in that world line. Okay, well...
I mean, we pretty much know what to do. And that's walk under Bertrand X's feet and look up at his face. Weird. Okay, but still, how do we get the thingy? Oh my God! Validation! My life is meaningful again!
Until you realize that the D was over there away from all the other letters, because it was scored by them.
Oh my God! My life is meaningless again! Okay, maybe we can use this.
Please move.
Dreams really do come true.
We'll move.
Perhaps I need to power up over a few episodes first.
Well, you know, once you die, then you go visit King Kai in the afterlife, and...
Maybe. But in any case, it doesn't look related.
Gee, you had to go straight to that, huh?
Spinning bird kick!
Even with my spinning Iba kick, I couldn't do it.
It's worth a shot.
The amazing Iba kick doesn't do it either. My tornado Iba skywing kick is not working. What am I supposed to do?
You do not have passion, nor are you a cool intellectual.
How about something other than a kick?
Ha 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 ha! We are idiots.
Yes, we are.
What?
We only have our shelf to blame.
Oh my God, you do that one all the time.
It's always good!
I knew if we never gave up, we could figure it out. Just like the D. Off in the corner, by itself, with no friends.
Don't worry, Damon. I'm right here, beside you. Okay, we know how this works.
Ota is still down.
Rah, Oda, you're cool. Okay, get up.
That was so impassioned.
Ota will feel the worth of Iris's peace when he grasps it.
What?
The ghost inside me whispered. That's right. I can't run away now. I can't sacrifice Tessa. Awaken the soul!
What?
What did it?
There!
Well, yeah, of course, but I figured that's what this would be about.
That makes sense. And this time Bertrand didn't get injured.
Right. And Kagami didn't let us down.
This time!
And there's no reason for Date to have to stay longer.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be a bit more about Ota, I guess.
That makes sense.
Man, I am really going to be extremely disappointed if instead of going in some crazy direction like every other Uchikoshi game, it's just like, rah, the criminals are bad. Like,
What?
that's not even really a twist.
Yeah!
Like, scummy politician is scummy? Jikai!
Day 4, Monday.
Sorry that I had to get rough with you, kid.
I still suspect that there's a lot more to what's going on than what it immediately appears. And if not...
I'll be really disappointed if there isn't.
Again, I guess there's 2 Uchikoshi games I haven't played, but in all the other ones, like, the premise of each game is generally not even true. So you expect some crazy plot twist.
Seriously, dude? Come on.
No, Ota, it is time for you to answer for everything that you have done.
So sorry, Ota. Date told me to be the bad cop.
I did not.
You just like being the bad cop.
Temper, temper.
Whatever. Anyway, Ota, I have some things I want to ask you.
And you can't weasel out of it this time.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Let me get right down to it.
Okay, maybe there isn't something funny going on this route. Maybe there is. He hasn't said the stuff about Tessa.
Uh-huh. Like seeing her driving.
Yeah.
In Renju's car.
Your mother, Mayumi Matsushita, was at the warehouse, wasn't she?
What are you talking about?
Was she there?
We have the chocolate, we have the knife. There's no reason for Bertrand X to have that knife.
Who are you to judge my aesthetic choices?
Well, no, you can totally have a floral pattern knife if you want, so Sejima. Or should I, AKA Bertrand Z? I don't know. I'm not worried about you having a floral pattern knife. I'm worried about you having her floral pattern knife.
Why would she be? That happened at 3 a.m.
There's a lot of questions about this that need answering, buddy. That's one of them.
She was at home asleep.
Then why did we find evidence at the crime scene?
Everyone always claims that they're at home, in bed, asleep at 3 a.m. Just saying, that may not be true.
Well, to be fair, I'm usually at home asleep at 3 a.m. It's a normal thing.
Evidence?
I don't know. It's like, that's always people's excuses for why it couldn't possibly be them, because there was someone sleeping at 3 a.m.
But wouldn't it be more suspicious if they were out and about at 3 a.m.?
Sure, it might not prove she was there.
Now hold on. You understand, Billy, that you just made my point while questioning it.
I'm just that good.
But it makes it likely. The evidence is...
Very good. With the chocolate.
Todoroki Man chocolate. This was discovered in the corner of the warehouse. Mayumi Matsushita's fingerprints were found on the package. Mayumi purchased the chocolate yesterday at 10:33 p.m.
Right.
The purchase was made at an 812 convenience store.
I mean, I don't know why that knife was there, but this is the one that directly links her to the scene.
Because the fingerprints.
Right.
The store was located approximately 100 yards from the Famisto where Ota stole the station wagon.
And that we have her on camera buying it at this time.
Right. So, bam. I took it out of my pocket and showed him.
The Todoroki Man chocolate.
The one that elicited such a visceral response from you earlier.
The same one I showed you at the hospital.
And then you clammed up.
I found it in the corner of the cold storage warehouse.
So? That doesn't prove anything.
Bags of candy seen being purchased on a camera by someone who's not supposed to be there do not float into a warehouse and hide themselves in a corner on their own.
After rubbing them all over their fingers.
Right, thank you, I forgot the key part.
That's kind of the important part.
The bag floats up, rubs all over the person who bought it, their fingers, okay? And then it floats into the warehouse, and then like the zombie cyborg Monokuma or whatever on the cover is like, yeah, this will frame that old lady for sure. See, it was all Monokuma the whole time.
We just can't get away from him.
Mayumi's fingerprints were on the package.
What?
You have a bad poker face, Ota.
Yeah.
Your reaction tells me Mayumi didn't give this to you and you dropped it on your own.
That information is confirmed. Ota's fingerprints were not found on the package.
Mom isn't the killer!
I didn't say that she was. I'm saying that she was at the scene. And so were you.
Remember the tender way in the other route that Ota, like, reached down to Bertrand X?
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute. Why do you think Mayumi isn't the killer, Ota?
Because I was face to face with that polar bear when we fought. I could tell it wasn't my mom, even through the costume.
Height, etc. And I can believe that this is a sort of understandable thing.
And no matter what happened, there's no way that my mom would stab me.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Whatever weird thing is going on, and her being there or even helping out and whatever, none of that points to her stabbing Ota.
Right.
Why are you covering for her?
I think it's natural. Even if he did know his mom was the killer, he'd try and cover for her.
But by beating him on this point, like just beating him with it over and over and over,
Covering?
to get him to talk.
That's why you're lying to me, right?
By threatening her over and over, he eventually has to say everything.
In order to clear her. If she wasn't the killer.
I'm not.
Are you sure about that? You must have seen direct evidence of Mayumi being at the warehouse. But you're hiding that from us. Or maybe even you're starting to suspect her.
I am not.
Sure.
What are you accusing me of anyway? What do you think I'm hiding?
Many things. There are many things that are fishy with this situation. Because it happened at a fishery. Fishy.
Very good, Billy. What is Ota hiding? Well, he certainly was hiding the knife. There's that whole funny two cars
The polar bear
thing.
dropped the weapon in Ota's Somnium. It was the floral pattern kitchen knife. On the handle were the words, "Mom, I love you always."
I think this is probably it, but I want to consider everything just to make sure.
Me too.
Date. From this, we can conclude that the knife...
That no one wants to talk about that you were holding at the hospital.
I know.
Actually, the knife he had at the hospital was a regular knife. It didn't have a
Then
floral
that's
on it.
even weirder!
Yeah, that's never been in contention. Okay. It's not the fishery, and it's not the streaming equipment. And we've already used the Odoroki Man chocolate.
Yeah, the only other thing it could be other than the knife is the two cars, but that's gotta be about the different detail. I just don't want to get this wrong. I want to make sure we get it right.
Take that! I just felt like saying that.
Ah, nostalgia.
The kitchen knife with a floral pattern. Mom, I love you always is carved on the handle.
Time to talk about this, buddy.
Ota gave me that knife for Mother's Day when he was in elementary school. He knows how much I love flowery designs.
You were stabbed by that very same knife.
How do you know that?
It was in the Somnium.
The criminal ran away with the knife. No one was supposed to see it.
Was supposed to?
That's a pretty particular phrasing you got going on, buddy.
I knew it.
No, my mom didn't do it.
Then you gotta explain where the knife came from, buddy.
Then why did you not mention the kitchen knife earlier?
Because I know how it looks. I thought Mom would get accused, and then she would have been brought in here and interrogated. I didn't want to put her through that. And Mom never liked Tessa.
That's true.
So maybe, just maybe, Mom hired someone to kill Tessa.
What?
Really?
Do you actually think that might be possible?
Oda!
And she gave them that kitchen knife. I don't know. I thought of it that way.
That doesn't seem right.
I am highly suspect of that as well.
Like that would ever happen. I know it sounds crazy, but after I saw that knife, I just lost it.
No, that doesn't sound crazy at all. That sounds extremely understandable, hence the tender look in the other route. You know, at, oh, Bertrand X, that knife, what is this?
Yeah, especially if he thought it was his mom.
Well, it just all has to do with her buying the chocolate and the time of it. What was it, 10:33 p.m.?
That sounds about right.
It's when she was on the cameras?
Yeah.
If you're hiring a hitman, you ain't following along to make sure that they're doing what you hired them to do. And that doesn't just happen to happen. on the night when you find and ignore a police officer who's been banged in the head laying in the middle of your quote-unquote restaurant, then you see your son leaving with that witch that you hate, and then she walks up to you, doesn't say anything, and then walks away, and then you follow. I don't think hitman is what comes to mind here.
Like, the whole point of hiring a hitman is so there isn't evidence of your involvement.
Instead of providing extra evidence of your involvement. Now, what it is or why, I have no idea.
Now, sweetie, I want you to use this knife, and if you get hungry, here's an Odoroki man. This is the weirdest assassination job I've ever had.
I just thought of the idea of framing herself. Huh.
What? Framing herself?
I don't really believe it, but it's never occurred to me. Like, what? You pay?
Why would you do that?
That's why I'm like, what?
Please, you have to believe me. Mom isn't a serial killer.
She couldn't be.
She's a soup killer. I was sitting on that one.
Why are you sitting on a bowl of soup?
The same reason I buy my clothes at Soup. What?
Yeah, I agree.
You do?
I'm just trying to say she was there.
I do. I don't think it's possible for Mayumi to have kidnapped Iris. Because...
Video footage. Well, in any case... okay, wouldn't that be the chocolate in the cars?
Let's take a looky-loo.
2 cars were parked in front of the warehouse. One was the van owned by the Matsushita family. Ota's fingerprints were detected on the driver's seat and steering wheel. Iris's fingerprints were detected on the passenger seat.
So she was never in the van, which was actually their family vehicle.
Correct.
The other car was a station wagon.
The one he stole.
Yesterday at 10:33 p.m.
Yeah.
Ota stole this station wagon.
Oh, I see.
Right, 10:33 p.m. That was the time that she bought the chocolate. We just went through that.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember the difference, like 100 yards away from each other.
Or something like that,
The two gas stations. At the exact same time as Mayumi was on the camera buying the chocolate, Oda was stealing the station wagon, and they were right next to each other. Like 100 yards. It's
Right.
next. Okay.
So that kind of puts her as not there.
Not there, but not there.
Thank you for clarifying that, Damon.
Yeah, that made it very clear, didn't it?
It was parked at the Famisto along Koshu Highway. Ota explained his reasoning for stealing the car. He claims that while he was inside the Famisto, someone took off with the van, with Iris still inside. Ota decided to steal the station wagon parked nearby to give pursuit. Ota searched for the van in his stolen vehicle. Our investigation determined that Iris and the van were taken 1 minute before Ota stole the station wagon.
Okay, so at 10:32,
Oh.
at the Famisto, the van is stolen and Iris is in it.
Yeah. So isn't it possible, if it was Mayumi, she drove to the 812 within that minute to grab the Odoroki as an alibi?
Did she buy it at the 812 or did she buy
Yes.
it at the Famisto?
She bought it at the 812. That's why the distance between them is so important.
I guess that's important, but 100 yards in 1 minute, hopping in your car, turning on your car, driving 100 yards across a highway?
Okay, yeah, when you phrase it like that, it doesn't
Now,
really
I
seem-
could buy that would be the case, but in 1 minute?
This puts the incident occurring at 10:32 p.m.
So it's gotta be these two.
No, it's definitely those. I'm just making sure I have all the details in the right order.
It shouldn't matter which order we show.
No, it doesn't.
The Matsushita's van was stolen from the parking lot of the Famisto while Iris was in the car.
Yeah, I'd really like to go through a lot of these details.
That was yesterday, 10:32 p.m. 1 minute later at the 812, which was about 100 yards away, Mayumi bought the Odoroki man chocolate.
Man, I kind of wish that we would have done this one first, We were like right in the right mood and suspiciousness instead of going off into some random Yakuza revenge story.
Right.
She entered the 812 about a minute earlier. This was all caught on security cameras at the store. That means it's impossible that Mayumi could have taken the van. And that means that Mayumi being the polar bear is also next to impossible.
Phew.
However, I can't completely clear her.
There is evidence of the fact that she was involved or there at some point.
Chocolate, knife.
Chocolate, yeah.
And knife.
What?
You said it yourself. She could have hired someone to commit the crime.
But that was...
However unlikely that is, he still has to, like, eliminate that.
In any case, I need to hear from Mayumi herself. I need to hear her explain the chocolate, the knife. There's a lot to cover.
And the only way we can get it from someone with her unfortunate condition is to go inside and take a look.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, you're the one who brought it up that it was going to happen earlier.
I'd forgotten.
I'm gonna head to Matsushita Diner.
You forgot, huh? What does that mean?
Make of that what you will.
Billy, are you suffering from dementia?
Oh, you did in fact make of that what you would.
What is wrong with us?
I think we're both suffering from something.
What? Hey, well, wait a minute.
Don't worry. I'm not going there to arrest her. I'm going there to clear her of suspicion.
Yeah, just like we didn't arrest you and went to talk to you to clear you of suspicion. Same thing.
I like how in these interrogations, it never ends with him, like, convicting someone. I think I want to blame Phoenix Wright for that sort of triggered response in my brain.
Oh, the expectation?
Yeah, the expectation of accusing them.
Really?
Yes.
You won't arrest her?
Unless I find evidence that she did it.
Your mother wouldn't kill anyone. Right, Ota?
Yeah, we just don't know what the heck was actually going on.
Thank you, Date.
Wang me over the head with the walk again and we'll see what's what.
Yeah, you're out of second chances. You're out of third chances. I guess you might still have a fourth chance left, if that gets offered.
Sorry for the late night, Miss Matsushita. But I have some questions I need to ask you. Could you spare some time?
Oh, what's wrong?
I finally remembered about the warehouse.
The warehouse?
I did it.
She's framing herself. She's framing herself to protect her son.
Okay, okay. I can accept that rationale.
Just like Ota is like, you cannot possibly ever suspect my mom. I won't let her get in trouble for this. I want to get away with whatever it is I'm doing, but I'm not gonna let anything happen to my mom. If I get caught, well, that sucks, and I'll try and knife you or something. But don't go after my mom. And she's like, oh God, I have to protect my son. So that's what they're both doing.
Now hold on. Ota and Date did say that she would never do something like that. But let us not forget the strange way she reacted when Iris did whatever to her.
I did everything.
Well, I didn't expect this. Day 5, Tuesday.
Zugai? So are we gonna question her first?
I didn't do this last night because I wanted to give you a chance to calm down. How are you, now that you've slept on it?
What are you talking about?
I'll be honest, I don't think you're the killer.
Uh-huh.
You're giving us a false confession.
And why would you do that?
No, it's true. I kidnapped that witch. I took her to the warehouse and...
Oh, you convinced me. Oh, okay, you must be right. Why won't you people tell the truth? I mean, I understand why it also wouldn't make a great story, but why won't you people tell the truth?
Put her on the table and pulled her eyeball out?
Yes.
Yes.
And the polar bear costume?
I bought it through mail order.
And don't forget, she was carrying it around when she bought the chocolate. She had to have been. That's the only way she could have been in the suit, is if she was carting this sucker around.
And if she wasn't in the suit, then she would have left fingerprints on the van when she drove off with Iris.
Or something like that.
And you were the one wearing it?
Yes, that's right.
I was wearing stilts. That's why it's so tall, eh?
Date, the criminal has confessed. Arrest her immediately.
Boss, when I said you were to be bad cop, that's not what I meant.
You got to the top of Abyss acting like that?
I heard that she used to be an actress.
Sounds about right.
I believe it.
What was her name? Shizue? It's such a gentle name, a refined name. Completely the opposite of Boss.
Mayumi looks tense. Understandably so.
She looks combative, doesn't she?
She does seem to be acting different than how she normally does. She seems more clear-headed.
Well, yeah, because she's trying to take the rap for her son, or whatever her son did.
Okay, Mayumi, why did you want to stream it online?
Oh, that's the easiest one to...
Because the world needs to see that witch die.
Now that's hilarious, but man, you should have waited and done that one last.
Just a quick question, Mayumi. Do you know anything about online streaming?
She doesn't have a cell phone or know what one... She knows what it is, but she thinks they're a waste. Come on!
I'm not stupid. I might be old, but...
Yeah, yeah.
Could you explain it to me?
Huh?
Well, I think it involves like a river or something, and...
Step by step. Just tell me what you did.
It's real simple.
I can't explain it in words.
It's really simple.
It's more like muscle memory.
Now, if you don't know how to do it, it can be confusing, but when you do, you go through a specific, simple set of steps.
It's true, it's true.
I was able to get it working after trying a few times, that's all.
Can you talk about the settings you use? Like, if we
What was the bit rate?
if we take a look at the video, you know, we should be able to tell like what the quality is. Can you tell us why you chose that quality or what those settings were to get there?
Where did you get the camera and laptop?
I had them laying around.
I picked them out of the garbage.
Oh yeah, people totally throw those away. I remember it was untraceable.
That's right.
Which garbage?
I don't remember.
You know, the garbage.
Hey, can you tell me where you got that? Because if you can find a trash can where people are throwing away cameras and laptops...
I sure would like to visit that trash can.
Yeah, I'd like one or two.
It's true. I planned the whole thing.
Why did you kidnap Iris?
My son is under that witch's spell.
You're half right, maybe.
Merchandise, concerts. She's bleeding him dry.
Does she even get any money from her own merchandise? Or does it all go to Limnescape?
I have no idea how idol contracts work.
I mean, I'm sure she gets something, but...
I wanted to snap him out of it. I wanted to save him.
I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If you want to buy the product and choose to buy it, there you go. Tessa can't release merchandise herself, and there's a lot of money, time, and effort and everything that goes into that. She should get a fraction of it, and the company should get the rest.
Right.
That's how it works. I feel like I'm being weirdly defensive about things I'm not even sure why I'm defending.
Well, that's pretty much this game in a nutshell, kind of.
It is not!
It is too!
No, it isn't!
Yes, it is!
If you make us go through this again, I will behead you. How's that?
No, you won't.
Quit choking me!
I'm not choking you. I'm using a drat. It's called strangling.
Well, now that we've had a giant fist fight and thrown objects all around the room, let's continue.
Why did you take out her eye?
Because I'm a sick, sick woman.
That's a fair answer.
Because I just hated her so much. Killing her wasn't enough.
But you didn't even kill her, though.
Well, to be fair, the killing was interrupted according to the video.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, now for the $1 million question. Were you the one who stabbed Ota?
Well, I didn't kill him, and he got in my way.
Well...
Yeah?
You were in the polar bear costume, right? That means you stabbed him.
Yes! I stabbed him. With the knife I brought from home.
She does know that knife was there.
Well, she does remember the warehouse. We've already kind of established that she was there in some capacity.
I wasn't trying to hurt him.
Oh, did you have it set to stun or something?
He fought me, and then it just...
Uh-huh. About the Cyclops killings? Surely you know what I'm talking about if you were the one who did this?
This has nothing to do with the Cyclops killings.
What do you know about the Cyclops killer? We call the criminal we're after the new Cyclops killer.
I know. They killed Shoko Nadami and Renju Okiura.
That's right.
Huh, she knew their names.
Yeah.
Both corpses were found with their left eye pulled out. Same as Iris.
I mean, yeah, they've been on the news. It's just interesting that of all things, she happened to know that. Like, she doesn't understand cell phones, but without skipping a beat, she said the names of the victims.
Yeah, she also doesn't seem to keep current with, like, events.
Yeah, I mean, did she get that from the newspaper and so that made her remember it? That's called being incredulous. I knew, you were about to take me seriously.
You're right, I totally was.
This leads us to believe that the crimes were all committed by the same person. So this person in the polar bear costume.
I mean, there's evidence to indicate it wasn't, but you know.
They are the new Cyclops killer. And you're telling me that person is you? You killed Shoko and Renju?
Yes. Lock me up, Sonny Jim.
Yes, I killed them.
Well, she's got guts.
I'll give her that. When and how did you kill Shoko?
Well...
Come on.
I don't remember.
Oh, so convenient.
What do you mean you don't remember?
Well, my brain, you see, it just doesn't work the way it used to. You'll get old one of these days, son. You'll have the same problem. Then you'll understand.
No, because I've got a cybernetic eyeball to take care of all that for me. What?
Do you really think that lie is gonna work?
I have a memory disorder.
She's aware of it, at least.
I don't always remember everything. It's not my fault.
But you remember the cold storage warehouse.
There are times I remember and times I don't remember. It changes.
I wonder if this is the first time we've actually seen Mayumi, like, clear-headed.
I think she's been clear-headed before when she's been sentimental.
Date, Mayumi is not lying about that in particular.
I mean, she was very passionate about it, and everything she said seems true. It's just convenient that she happened to forget when she was doing her serial killings.
There are circumstances that might cause selective memory.
Sure, but...
For whatever reason, her memory might not have been stored properly in her mind.
Hint, hint, you know there's a somnium coming, etc., etc.
Right.
This is not uncharacteristic for those suffering from dementia.
What was your motive for killing them?
I don't remember.
Isn't Renju Okiura the president of that awful company where the witch works?
Okay! That's believable!
She really hates ASET, doesn't she? I mean, she really is up to date on this stuff.
He's just as responsible, using her to steal time and money from vulnerable kids. And I'm sure he was debaucherous and degenerate. That man is the root of all evil.
That's kind of cruel, isn't it?
That's why I killed him.
When she talks like that, I can almost believe it. Alright, why did you kill Shoko?
Renju's ex-wife, right? I did it to get to him.
But the two divorced 4 years ago.
She clearly has more to do with this than I was expecting. But I don't know what that is. Okay. We know that they were connected to the Kumakuras.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, Mayumi is through 7 degrees of lemniscate or something like that. Mayumi is kind of connected to the Kumakuras too. So Sejima profited immensely off of whatever happened in the Kawasaki district.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
I'd forgotten about that.
What happened in the Kawasaki district destroyed Mayumi's life. And then the girl that she hates works for a person associated with the same Yakuza clan that So is. However, this requires a lot of extremely specific knowledge. Huh.
I'm gonna laugh if that's exactly what she's about to say.
That doesn't matter. The bonds of matrimony are eternal.
Well, it's easy for her to say that.
In your opinion, I don't think Renju felt the same way.
Well, you know, she married a Pokemon and gave birth to a Pokemon trainer.
It was fate.
You are really starting to aggravate me. I answered your questions, so there.
You're one tough cookie.
But the important question is, why are you lying?
I am not lying.
You do know that perjury is a crime, right?
I'm telling you, I'm not lying. I killed Shoko and Renju, and I tried to cut that demon witch in half.
Date, there's no point in letting this go on. She's clearly lying.
Yeah, the only thing we can do is sync.
The Somnium.
You seemed convinced earlier.
I was kidding. I don't think she's the killer.
I am the killer! I am!
It's like you can see right through her.
Are you saying she's a ghost?
Well, she married a water-type Pokemon that hadn't actually made it to its evolution. I don't know, are there any ghost water types?
I'm having conflicting feelings about this question.
Right now, we have to rely on hard evidence. The Todoroki Man chocolate that Mayumi bought was found at the warehouse.
If Mayumi was at the scene before Ota...
She may have seen the criminal's face.
You know what I'm going to say, right?
And the thing is they all left at the same time. Oda and Iris and Mayumi all left the Matsushita diner at the exact same time.
Exactly!
Date, sync with her.
Oh dear, that sounds dangerous.
Why is it that every time we do a sync, we can't finish it in a single episode?
This too must be fate.
Pewter, we're going to sync with Mayumi Matsushita. Prepare the machine.
Well, it's time for us to fight against fate and destiny and win! I learned that from Oda Man. He's so cool. Yay! A stink bug! I just felt like saying that. That's how I was talking.
Well,
What happened?
I assume her age might make complications.
Is it even possible with the dementia?
the sync machine isn't operating to capacity.
Oh yeah, really?
Yesterday's sync, well, suffice to say, Oda and Date were not too compatible.
That makes sense. This is apparently a thing. I mean, Mizuki and Date were extremely compatible.
And that's why she was able to sync despite not being a syncer or having Aiba.
And clearly, Ota and Date have nothing in common whatsoever.
Compatible?
I'll give you the big picture. To get the synchronization working properly, I had to push the machine pretty hard. And now, it's not responding.
Okay, that's believable, but unfortunate, but believable.
How long will it take to fix?
16 hours, at least.
Do it in 8.
You've got 8.
Fine, I'll get it done somehow.
But that's impossible.
So we can't sync yet, huh?
Oh, okay. I guess you really can't do it in 8. Maybe 12.
But we need to, or this investigation is going nowhere.
Date, I suggest we go to Matsushita Diner. We may be able to find some clues.
Billy, if there's 16 hours until the sync, we actually won against Destiny.
Yes!
Good idea.
Wow, that's amazing! We got inspiration from Ota Man, and it turned out to help us in our lives.
He is the savior we truly needed.
Or at least the one we deserved. I felt like that joke was way too by the numbers. I don't know how I feel about that now.
That's okay, it'll add up in the end. Was that better?
Yeah, I feel a little better, thanks.
I let Boss and Pewter know.
Pewter, we're counting on you for those repairs. I'll be back in 6 hours.
But you said 8. Please, you have to give me at least 8.
That Pewter, always so humble. He'll have it done in 6.
Yeah, Pewter is just that kind of guy, you know?
It doesn't matter how much you flatter me. I can't bend the laws of reality, or can I?
Hey! This is a hostile work environment!
Someone's leaving your porn in the filing cabinets. It's been a while.
Why would Mayumi lie?
She is probably protecting someone.
I wonder who it could be.
Ah, you're right. She is protecting Iris.
But who?
Surely you know by now.
No, I'm stupid and must have it all spelled out for me.
There is only one person Mayumi would want to protect that badly.
Really? You're right. Mayumi's covering for Iris, as I suspected.
So pathetic. Low-hanging fruit. What?
Mayumi hates Iris.
Why did you pick Iris?
I'll have to pick the right one eventually. I'm gonna have some fun with Aiba.
I doubt she would protect her.
You're right.
I've got it, so Sejima.
Congressman Sejima has no connection to Mayumi.
Well...
Or do you know something I don't?
No, sorry. Just a guess.
No need to apologize.
Not really a connection per se, but...
I know that the brilliant mind of Kaname Date wouldn't waste my time throwing out random guesses.
Billy?
I am sure I will agree with you once you explain your reasoning. In detail.
Billy?
You don't have to bully me.
Billy?
Don't bully the Billy.
I was just thinking out loud.
Okay, well go ahead. Go on.
Mizuki.
This is bad. His condition is worsening. Perhaps we need to increase the dose. Or reduce it?
I can hear you muttering, you know.
Alright, it's Oda.
I don't know
It's
why
Ota.
you didn't pick that in the first place.
It has to be.
Does Mayumi think Ota is the killer?
Last night, Ota left Matsushita Diner with Iris. Mayumi saw the whole thing.
But Ota was stabbed in the stomach by the culprit. Does Mayumi not remember that?
No, that isn't quite it. It is possible that she thinks Ota is responsible for everything.
I mean, that was what we thought.
Right.
She thinks Ota stabbed
Or
himself?
rather, Iris.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yes.
it could have actually been Ota as opposed to Iris, but in any case...
Why would he do that?
Before I explain, I would like to hear your thoughts.
Are you sure?
What do you think about the possibility that Ota is the new Cyclops killer?
I don't...
I don't really think it's possible or likely either. You know?
Yeah, that can't... Nothing about this had the same MO, except that an eye was removed. Again, the new Cyclops killer would kill a person in one location and then move their body to a different location and put in a theatrical presentation.
Yeah.
The new Cyclops killer did not ever live stream anything. These seem to indicate that this is someone aping the thing, like it's a copycat.
Right.
For whatever purposes, I don't know.
But it can't be the same person.
Doesn't that seem extremely hard to believe?
I can't believe it.
Impossible.
Why?
Oh.
Well, I guess the idea is to discuss this.
So wouldn't it be the van?
The van was stolen while Iris was in the passenger seat. We know that whoever did it is the culprit we're looking for.
Well,
Or at least working with the culprit or something.
There is a chance that Iris was not in the passenger seat. She could have been driving.
How so?
Iris could have taken the wheel herself and driven to the warehouse.
that makes a lot of sense. I mean, again, I don't think it's Oda. I think it's Iris.
That's true, but Iris's fingerprints were only found on the passenger seat, not the driver's seat or the driver's steering wheel.
If you're manipulating evidence,
Okay, alright, that's true.
then, you know, that does make sense.
But forensics only found Ota's fingerprints on the wheel.
She could just wear gloves at that point after having left her fingerprints
That's true.
in the passenger seat. And again, we've always pretty much been like, I don't know, I bet it's Iris. It's just Iris isn't super important in this route.
Right. Once we go back to Somnium, I'm sure she'll be more relevant.
That can be explained.
Well, one more before that. We have to go probably to the entire other side of the route, I bet. Like on the flowchart.
It is possible that Iris covered her fingertips with her sleeves.
I mean, we know that Ota ran into Iris when she was driving Renju's car.
That's true.
While Renju was at that time...
He was dead, okay?
Yes.
She was transporting his body. There's no beating around the bush.
Come, Bush, I shall beat you to death.
Well, then it's gotta be the top one, because the right one doesn't prove anything.
Now, all we're doing is discussing each one.
And I'll just pick the right one, then. Iris had her eye taken out.
Iris had her left eye pulled out. Ota would never do that.
Have you considered that she pulled it out herself?
As a matter of fact, we have!
Again, she only benefits from this. If she's crazy enough to be a serial killer, then these are things that she would be able to consider. And like we pointed out at the time, this puts her all over the news. It puts her name all the way out there. It gives her something that's completely unique, that no one can take away. The one-eyed idol who is hungry for fame.
What?
Or even asked Ota to do it.
That's what we were thinking.
Perhaps she ordered him to.
Not kill her.
Yeah.
Because she was never going to be killed. Like, your first reaction to seeing that was, now Ota gets to be the hero.
Yesterday's Somnium, Oda and the polar bear.
Oh, yeah. Since we're actually going on about this topic, okay, we had been assuming that there was something like what was just discussed. Maybe it's not that, maybe it's much more complicated, don't know. It's kind of going in the direction we were thinking, right? But we know from another route that So Sejima was in the polar bear costume. So that means that Iris was working with So Sejima.
There's definitely a connection because of Iris's Somnium. We know she has some kind of connection to So.
Right. My point, though, is that this appeared to be something carried out willingly by 3 participants.
Yeah.
Now, I understand what Iris, whether we're right or not, I don't know, but I can understand a motivation for Iris. I can understand a motivation for Ota. I mean, he gets to be the hero. He gets to do what his goddess, who he always wishes to support, for he is her thrall. he does her wishes. Okay. I have no idea what Sejima gets out of any of this. No, I don't know what that means.
In yesterday's Somnium, Ota and the polar bear.
That was just a dream. It doesn't necessarily reflect what happened in reality.
Ota wants to be a hero. Date and Ota were not compatible.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that.
Is it possible that what we're really getting was Ota's thoughts, his completely fictional thoughts about what his victory would sort of be as he were the hero that he was being presented?
And because there wasn't any compatibility, we couldn't get deep enough into the Somnium to look past the symbolism.
Maybe not symbolism, but a better way to do it would be like the surface thoughts.
Yeah, and maybe that's why we were so small.
Hey, that's a really good point. Yeah, that might actually explain that weird size.
I don't understand.
In short, Ota and Iris are accomplices. This was all a performance.
Gee, since Aiba is the one who's saying all this stuff, maybe that means we're wrong. I'm not trying to insult Aiba. I'm saying if the game is just going to feed us all this in this fashion, maybe we fell for something?
Now you've got me doubting myself, thanks.
Let's just go in circles over and over.
A performance?
Iris drove the Matsushida's van. Ota drove the station wagon. They went to the warehouse separately.
The station wagon is still weird, though. We don't know who owned it, or it didn't say.
Yeah.
But it just happened to be there. Of course, Sejima could have provided that station wagon at that location.
That's true.
And it could have been from any number of people who worked for him, who would go ahead and cooperate with the entire endeavor, not press charges, etc.
Right.
Then, they prepared the live stream. Iris anesthetized her left eye and removed it.
Well, she does seem to have that kind of knowledge.
Either that, or she asked Ota to extract it.
Yep, on both.
After that, Iris took her position on the table, and Ota donned the polar bear costume and started the saw.
Well,
consider this.
I mean, we don't know if that was Ota or not.
Right.
We're assuming that reality doesn't actually change in the different routes.
But it might?
It might, but if it doesn't, then that means Sejima was in the suit. But in any case, Oda was still cooperating, obviously.
In the stream, Ota and the polar bear were never on screen at the same time.
Right.
True. That means Ota went off camera, took off the costume, and then...
got off the stilts and...
And then Sejima ran in, took the costume, and stabbed him?
Yes!
With his mother's knife.
With his mother's knife.
Stay away from Tessa!
And then there's no combat sounds as the silent
Perhaps
struggle
Mayumi
goes
witnessed
on.
the entire event. It is also possible that Mayumi knew what the two were up to.
So she lied to protect Ota.
Yes, but this is only a theory.
Why would they do that?
Fame?
Consider the possibility that Iris killed Shoko and Renju.
This is weird, isn't it?
What a novel concept.
I mean, yeah, this is pretty much what we're thinking. Maybe it's not true, but they basically laid out everything that we've been thinking.
Well, Damon, it seems that this game is once again BSGing along the same lines we are.
Maybe.
Then, this whole thing was to get her off the suspects list. That's why she pulled out her eye and had Ota stab himself.
Because she said, they're gonna think I did it on account of her doing it.
It makes it look like there's another criminal involved.
I will repeat myself in saying that this is only a theory.
You'll have to go on the other route to find out those details.
The what?
But for now, let's focus on Mayumi, who apparently is possibly the focus of this route?
It is one of many possibilities.
It's possible, but I don't think it's very likely. They wouldn't go that far just to avoid suspicion.
Yeah, I think there was other benefits as well.
Date, you must consider the mental state of the serial killer.
You know, kind of grainy with a bunch of depictions of animals getting killed.
Shoko and Renju were both exposed and displayed.
And just like how nobody ever talked about the knife or the chocolate, okay? Nobody ever talked about the fact that we were in some psycho messed up Somnium. We just all ignored that part.
Yeah.
And they both had their left eye removed while they were still alive. Whoever our killer is, it is clear that they are sociopathic or even psychotic.
As we've said.
We can't rule anything out.
Are you galloping like a horse?
Nay!
Ota.
Oh, I'm surprised he's let out.
Yeah.
Why did you arrest Mom? You said you were gonna clear her. Why?
She confessed. We have to investigate it.
If you don't have anything to do with this yourself, then why don't you talk about it? Shall we get this out of the way, Billy? We'll see if there's anything worthwhile to look at, and then... Well, I was trying to come up with something witty to say about us being done, but...
It's okay.
Didn't happen this time.
We shall.
Why do they make us do this, Billy?
Because they know we will.
Oh good, there's no walk over there.
Okay, we've looked at everything.
And there was nothing, so why could we do it? Like I said before, throttle the game designers. Because if they didn't keep putting in things that we want to see, we wouldn't keep behaving like this.
Something pretty zen about that, I think.